TMB with Monkey Man, you know what I'm saying? Roll something, light something, bitch. FaceTime my playground where we ride on foes, sip on foes, trunk on glow, light for show, TV, no logo. When you see me on the late night with Bearded, having convo, Acres home, fofo, Uncle P in the chat. Excuse my manners, while me and Peso pass gas. I'm trying to get a bag. Why these niggas mad? Chocolate tie with the thick thigh, Vanna Black, like and subscribe. Early morning with Keem, that's a grand rising. I might just hit the gritty, I might just hit the Heisman. 2 Hill, that's Nike fam. Acres home, that's where I am. TMB with Monkey Man, that's on your channel now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. TMB with Monkey Man, he's a now no more. TMB with Monkey Man. TMB with Monkey Man. You know what it is, TMB with Monkey Man, now. I'm on your channel. TMB, way the conversation, you know what it is, homie. TMB with Monkey Man. TMB with Monkey Man. Smoke some bitch like Pimp say. TMB with Monkey Man. I'm 2 Hills, what's up, baby? TMB with Monkey Man. He's in there no more.
What's up, man? What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while since y'all seen me. It's been a while since I did interviews on this gentleman I'm about to bring up. We met in one of our down periods, but it was one of our down periods on our way to come up. He's a wonderful guy, man. He did 20 some odd years in the penitentiary, but I'm gonna let him tell his story. Without further ado, I'm about to bring up Rob the Barber.
Hey, bro.
What's up, baby?
All right. Hey, thanks for having me, man. How you feeling?
Yes, sir. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah. You excited for Easter tomorrow?
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't celebrate holidays. Man. But I do it for the kids, and I mean it's tradition. It's a beautiful thing because people do come together. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. I feel like it's important because when I was in the penitentiary, every day was just another day. You know what I mean? And so I did, you know what I mean? So to me, it's not another day. Every day is a new, beautiful thing. And so to be able to have that Easter experience, man, is important to me. I'm real excited. I got butterflies in my stomach. You know what I mean?
This your first Easter?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's my first one.
So like I was telling you guys, my boy did like 20 some odd years or whatever. But I'm gonna tell the people who Robert Griffin is before we get to Rob the Barber.
Well, man, I was a guy. I mean, if I just had to go back and start over, I was a guy that I have more felonies than most. I mean, I'm up over 30 some felonies. I got I ran around. I was that guy, right? I don't like to glorify all that stuff, man, because I try to be very careful, right? But I was a knockaround guy. My mom was a $2, my mom was a street chick, and from a very young age, I had to know which dude she brought home, right? The dude that was gonna get drunk and give me $10, or the one that was gonna beat me within an inch in my life, right? So it's funny that I can share that today, right? But thanks to God and the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm free for those bondages and those resentments today, and I'm truly free. I'm not one of these guys that's on a video telling you something that I don't feel, because I'm a guy of action. If I wasn't feeling it, you would see it in my personal life, right? I used to be an unkind guy who said and did unkind things, man, and I attracted unkind people, right? And so today, free from those resentments, right? I'm a kind guy, man, who says and does kind things, and I attract kind people. And in my walk, I've been very blessed, but I ran the streets. I mean, people got hurt, bad things happened. I don't want to glorify some of those things, kept me in bondage, man. A few of them, I don't know that I thought I could never be forgiven for, right? And I don't say those things to be tough because, there was a time out there, I just said to somebody who's very, very close with me, I'm out in the same neighborhoods today, right? Those neighborhoods that I used to tear down. And when you're a 17-year-old kid, things are a little different, man. You tearing that neighborhood down, you start selling that stuff and it starts out, as a good thing. Like, hey man, I'm gonna bring you this pack and you're gonna be able to sell it and you can pay off your house and you can pay for a car and you can get all this because I come from the hood, right? One or two white families in the hood. And, I'm the epitome of poor white trash, right? So a nice car and a nice house and a nice crib was everything. You know what I mean? That was our God, right? If we could just get to that, right? So, it doesn't look so good because later on, when you look back, you're going to hand that stuff to the people that you love the most because they're who you trust. So it starts out like we're all going to get rich and we're high-fiving. But what it translates to is your brother starts snorting this stuff. Now he's using this stuff, right? Now he's starting to lose it. Now all of a sudden he's staying in hotels, cheating on your sister-in-law, running around. She's trying to find him. The kids are missing him. And you partook in that, man. You had something in that. So at my age now, looking back, somebody says to me, hey, man, I want to get in the game. I say, listen, are you ready to watch everybody that you know and love lose everything that they have, their integrity? Because that's what you're going to do. They're going to go to prison, right? They're going to go to prison. They're going to lose their lives. They're going to spend the rest of the time in recovery and addiction. So today I spend each day trying to I bring, like mortar and brick to my neighborhoods because I'm a guy who wants to rebuild the things that I've done.
My bad. But I had put you. I was trying to. Yeah, I can hear you. I was trying to put
Okay.
you on solo.
What did you miss?
But let me ask you this. How long when you was down there? When did you make the decision? Like year one, year two. When did you make the decision that you said, you know what, I'm gonna change when I get out?
Listen. So on my first charge, this is the truth. And people get on here and they talk about prison, they glorify it, and they lie. Like I watch these videos, and I don't want to down anybody. I don't want to down anybody or put anybody down or do that. But I want to tell you something, man. I was down there and I was getting so high that I thought if I ever got out, I was gonna have to go to rehab, like from prison to rehab. And I'm telling you the truth, man. But I was always a hustler, so we were hustling. I'm out there in the packing plant at Michael Unit. I'm out there and we're making 10 gallons of wine. You know what I mean? At a week. In the summertime, you can get a cook off in 5 days, right? So we're pretty much going, my crew, and we're staying drunk, right? And I'm telling you, man, I gotta have it, right? So anyway, God given us, I put in to go to college, right? That's one thing about TDC. They dress you and treat you like a slave. You don't have air conditions in your cell, and it's a rough way to go, right? But those people, man, they will educate you if you want educated. But by the grace of God, when I was trying to get to another unit, I didn't want an education. What had happened was God had a plan, even though that I didn't believe in him, right? So I get locked up. I put in to go to school. It takes forever for me to get to school. Right in the height of my mess, they lock me up. I go to SEG, and I'm in SEG, and I got drawers and a Bible. So I start reading this Bible, right, to disprove God, right? Because this was my attitude, and this is the truth. If you came in the penitentiary, you in the street, and you picked up a Bible and you started going towards God, to me, right, That was just like being a rat, right? Because we were out there together in the struggle, right? I had the gun in the alley and had your back. You had the gun in the alley and had my back. I'm your God and you're my God. And if there is a God, he forgot all about us. And we seen people out there that cried out for God and they needed him real bad and he ain't show up. So, man, you better put that Bible down and get back to what we're doing right here. Well, all of a sudden, man, I start reading this Bible to disprove God, right? And a funny thing happens. I start reading into this thing, and I'm the whole way through, I'm starting to say, man, anybody could make this up. Anybody could make this up. And then I started asking right now, they gave me pen and paper. I started writing out for background books, and I started to get these background books. And I found out that 11 of the 12 disciples died miserable deaths, right? Because they wouldn't deny Christ. So I started thinking about that in terms of like a gang, right? So let's say your homeboy picks you up. You get in the car. Now you start telling your homeboy, hey man, I'm Jesus Christ. And you start telling him you can do all these miracles, right? But he don't see you do nothing. You're just telling him, and you're telling him about eternal life and that there's eternal life. But he doesn't see you. You're just telling him you could do these miracles, right? So all of a sudden, the police pull you over, right? And now they get you out the car and they put the gun on him. And they say, hey, man, if you say this dude is Jesus Christ, we're finna smoke you, right? And so that dude, he didn't see me do nothing. He's going to say, hey, man, that's Rob, man. That's Rob the Barber. That's the flying line. He is not Jesus Christ. Kill him. Don't kill me. Now, let's say he picked me up and I get in the car and I tell him I'm Jesus Christ and we start riding and he see me bring his mama back to life. He sees me heal his brother who's a heroin addict, got sores all over him, and I touch him and I heal him. And people that he knows from his hood that can't walk, all of a sudden I touch them and they walking. He's seeing miracles and I'm telling him about eternal life. Now he sees me get smoked. And all of a sudden I come back from the dead, right? Now you think about this. I come back from the dead and then, and now I'm walking with him again. Now we get pulled over, right? And the whole time he's been seeing all these miracles, I'm talking about everlasting life, right? In heaven. And all of a sudden the cops get him out the car and they say, hey man, if you say this dude is Jesus Christ, we're fitting to smoke you. He's going to go, man, that man's Jesus Christ. Because people don't die for what they didn't see. They don't die miserable deaths. Like these cats got hung on crosses and had 3 days to die. Their legs going out, their lungs collapsing. And all they had to say to bail out was, he ain't Christ. It's all been a hoax. But they didn't do it. They stood for 3 days and died because they didn't care about the torture, whatever they were going through here, because they knew this was just a vessel and they were going to heaven because they believed they saw the miracles. So now my mind changed, right? So now I'm like, okay, now there's a God, but I don't know what to do with it. Well, here's where God takes over. I don't really understand the Bible. I'm whatever. I'm a little lost. But guess what happens? All of a sudden, I'm off Michael unit. I'm away from the homeboys. They're taking me to school. So now I get away and they're sending me to Ramsey 1. And this is a true story. We're going through my UCC, which is where they give you housing and all your stuff in your school and tell you what you're going to be doing and give you your job assignment. You know what UCC is. And I'm sitting there and I'm in an old chow hall and dudes are talking to me and stuff. And like, where you going, homeboy? I'm going here. Da, da, da. All right, what's up? Hey, is so-and-so on the unit? You know all that jibber jabber, right? So all of a sudden I get to my housing and this is the God's honest truth, man. And this is the miracle in all this, right? This is true. The cell door opens up and this cat says to me, hey, Robert, how you doing? This cat knows my name, right? So obviously he's got pulled on that unit. I'm sitting in the old chow hall. Somebody I encountered ran to him and said, hey, bro, you got this cat coming. This is the cat. He's whatever. And he says, hey, Robert, where do you live? And I say, I live in Arlington, Texas. He said, so if I take you out of Arlington, Texas, you'll die. I said, oh man, this dude's a crackpot. I've been on chain all day. I've been dealing with this major, all this gang file stuff. I'm played out, man. I don't even want to get into it. And he looks at me, he says, man, I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy. I know you think I'm crazy. He said, but I can tell that me and you are going to get along just fine. He said, you're going to be in this cell with me, right? And he said, I'll ask you again in a few months where you live. You'll have a better answer. So I gotta put my stuff up. You know how it is, right? I'm trying to get my stuff in the lockers. You know, the lockers right under the bed, right? So I'm stuffing all this, and I'm just not thinking about none of this. And all of a sudden, like COVID is hitting and all this stuff. And after finding out that he has been in that cell 15 years, which is unheard of in TDC, but because of his circumstances and who he is, he's in that cell. He was taken out for 2 floods. That's it, when the hurricanes hit. And he taught me more. He's out of Houston, the cat out of Houston, and which is where I'm at right now, which is funny about the story. And he taught me more about God and being a man and accepting responsibility and than any other man had ever taught me. Good things, man, straight up things. And so 6 months goes by, man, of me being in a constant cell with him and constantly asking him questions and him telling me wholesome things and positive things. And man, and like God put this dude in my life, right? And are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
And he puts this dude in my life. And 6 months later, I'm complaining. I'm like this, man, my homeboy is this, my baby mama that, rah, rah, rah. And he says, hey, Robert, where do you live at? And after being in that cell with him, and this changed my life. After being in that cell with him, I said, right here, man, it's where I live, right here. It's where I spend most of my time, man. He said, yeah, man, and you got a dirty house. Your couch smells like anger and unforgiveness. Your curtains smell like drug addiction and drug use. And your carpet is filthy with the stuff that comes out of your mouth every day. See, what you need to do is start cleaning your house. Take in good things, read good things, speak good things. Each day, shop for a new set of curtains. Go get a new couch, right? And clean that carpet, right? See, because you attract people with dirty houses, son, because you have a dirty house and they do dirty things to you like you did dirty things to everyone else. He said, you get that house cleaned up and you'll attract people with clean houses and you won't have these problems. See, all the problems that you have in your life, son, are because of you. So if you spend the rest of your life cleaning up your house, your experiences will change. And so I didn't have an epiphany moment like everybody say God come in their life and it changed. No, I'm of a particularly hard-headed version, but I didn't get high no more. You know what I mean? And I was listening. And so I started to work on it. Not that I'm perfect today. I'm still not perfect today. I had a little issue today where I had to get myself in check, but I know this. I got friends around me today that call me. I don't have friends that yes me to this. See, I got friends that tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear, right? I have friends that love me and care about me, not because what I can do for them. It's because that I care for them and I'm here and I'm available. You know what I mean? And so each day I go out and I try and do something kind for somebody. God tells me to wake up every day and just be kind. Now that sounds like something easy, right? But it is easy, right? Other people say to me, oh man, that's hard. Nah, it's not hard for me. See, they're thinking of it like this. It's hard to be kind to people that might not be kind back to you. See, I don't even notice that. See, he doesn't tell me to sit in the judgment seat. He just tells me to be kind. How you receive it and how you treat me isn't part of the deal. He just says, be kind. And that's a tall order for a guy. It took me all this time. So 4 years is the answer to the question. 4 years of a journey of each day making mistakes, picking myself, learning from it, and making really, really bad mistakes. And so I want to shout out to him too. His family's here in Houston, and his name is Jesse Caballero, Sam Caballero. He was that Houston cop that shot his wife at HCC. He was an HCC cop, and they said that he killed his wife. I think that he didn't do it. I would like to believe that he didn't, but it's a shout out to his family. And so he has a son with autism, and he's a lot older than I am, even though I'm old. But he has a son with autism, and I feel like I got his son's blessings. Like he treated me like a son, and he helped me. He saved my life because I tell you this, TDC threw me out into homelessness after all this time because halfway houses don't take discharges. And they threw me out into homelessness. And the things that he had taught me, I had to use them every single day in staying with the plan, right? To you know, I had matured enough that hitting those hard times of desperation that I say, okay, God, what do we got going here? So I just kept walking the streets. I went to get my IDs. I went to get the things that I needed. And I want to tell you, I'm going to shout out one other thing to the city of Houston. Let me tell you something. The city of Houston, if you want help in the city of Houston and you want it and you want to help yourself, these black women, man, these black women are taking over Houston and they are the ones to do it. Amazing women, powerful women sitting behind desks that if you want to help yourself. So minute I hit that first one, when I put my hands up and I said, hey, listen, I asked the cops, my first day out of TDC, they ran up on some homeless people. I was lost. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I walked up to some homeless people where, you know, they're ripping and roaring through the homeless community here because the World Cup's coming. So the homeless police, the Houston homeless police squad show up and they pull everybody's ID. Well, they pull my ID and it's a TDCJ ID. When they see my ID, now they run me. I didn't know they could run a TDCJ ID. That's facts. They run me and they see I have this illustrious career, right? And they come pull me to the side. They say, Robert, what are you doing here, man? What's the plan? What are you fixing to do? You know, because all my stuff, right? And I say, man, I'm trying to just live. I'm trying to make it, man. I've really changed my ways. I look them in the face. They said, well, let us handcuff you. I say, handcuff me? For what? They said, listen, we got a program. We got to take you now. We got to cuff you up for our safety. Man, I just got out, man. I wasn't going back in handcuffs. And there was a girl, Peaches, a homeless girl. She's still out there. We see her. We go down and see her and check on her and stuff. But she was like, don't do it, man. It's a trend. So I'm like, no. So I suffered for a couple weeks running around, end up out there, man, you know, sleeping at Moody Park. And man, it was rough, bro. But I just kept my eye on the prize, right? Slip into meetings, do what I could do, show up at, you know, all the churches and resources. And so the cop had told me, Sergeant Richard is his name. He told me, hey, man, if you ever want to tap out, man, and you change your mind, let me tell you something. 3 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later, bro, when they came to cut, I flagged this cop down on the same corner. And I said, hey, Sergeant Richard told me that if I ever needed help, that I could call him and that he would come and handcuff me and take me someplace where I could do better. And I said, well, I'm asking for that help. He stopped, called him on the phone, had him on the speakerphone in the cop SUV. And he said, is that barber from TDCJ? I said, yeah, it's me, Sarge. You will help me out? He said, I have a car there for you in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
In 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes later, the Houston Police Department picked me up. No lie. 2 laws jumped out. I gave them my ID. They ran me. Of course, they're going to run me, right? They ran me. I'm clean, right? It's nothing like being able to give that ID over too. I'm gonna tell you that, but I love that. It's like when you're a kid and you go to the bar and you're a young kid and you're going in the bar where all of a sudden you turn 21, you can't wait for somebody there. When you are free, since I'm 11 years old, I've never been free of warrants, locked up, or on some kind of supervision or probation. This is the first time in my life. First time. And there are people that are going to see this and know me and know that I'm telling the truth since I'm 11 years old. So anyway, I'm free. I hand over that ID. This is how God laid this out, man. It can't be no better. Next thing you know, they search me and they handcuff me. Now I got 4 or 5 bags. You know how a person, you know, out there in the streets is walking around. They never look in my bags, man. These dudes act like valets. They pick up my bags. They put them in the car. They treated me with such kindness. Now watch this. On the way to taking me to 6160, they say, we want to thank you, man. These cats really are saving my life. But they said, we want to thank you because we have to do all these other things in the day. Today, we get to serve somebody and help somebody who wants to help themselves. And bro, I showed up over at 6160. And as soon as I got there, man, they treated me, they uncuffed me right away, said they were sorry for the handcuffs. It was just for their safety. And next thing you know, I had a medical staff all over me, making sure if I needed psych meds, they ain't. Yeah, I know it. My best friend, my Wendy's here with me. Wendy's here with me, and it's kind of, she has the same similar story. And she was saying, hey, that's what happened to me too. And it's true. And next thing you know, I had a medical team around me. They're wondering if I'm okay. They're checking me for everything, making sure, trying to find my medical records, making sure I'm set, give me brand new set of sweat clothes and a much needed shower. They didn't even want to talk to me till, they just wanted to make sure I was good medically quick, but they wanted to make sure that I was comfortable. And I got a shower, put on my brand new sweats. They were like, hey man, we ordered pizza on Friday nights. You want some pizza? I was like, pizza? Bro, they brought me pizza. And the next thing you know, I said, well, what do I need to do? Do I need to get a job? Do I need to go here? Do I need to do that? They said, baby, you need to sleep. Them powerful black women said, you need to sleep, baby. And so 3 days later, I woke up. 3 days later,
People know they don't know what 6160 is, but they know through me. That's the program I told you that I was in. And this is my boy Bearded Conversation. One day I'm gonna interview him next week, and maybe one day Wendy will let me interview her so she can tell her story. You know what I'm saying? Because we need men and women to tell their story. Because I'm a down to earth person. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to give her. She can get on the camera. Just wait. I want that Astro jersey too because they got 4-4 on the back. Anyway.
Look at it.
Yeah, I got that at Acres Home, man. That's 4-4. But that's but anyway, though, I met him in man, and I'm talking about Robert was off the rip. Hey man, I'm the best barber in the world. So you know me, man, what this white boy know about cutting hair. But I ain't gonna lie.
That's what they all say.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know I got an ugly ass head. So at the end of the day, if he can cut my hair and have my head looking straight, he's a good barber, man. Bearded Conversation. See, I want to shout out to the people in the chat too, because you know, without them, we wouldn't have no show. Shout out to Bearded Conversation. That's my partner. That's a homeboy. He supported me the 2 times I'd have been to jail diverged. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Coach Lady. Shout out to
Green. I say God bless, man. God bless.
Oh, he right here looking at you. Them the people
that any friend of yours is a friend of mine. You're a good dude.
Yeah, man. And the thing about it is, I can come off. It may think a lot of people think that I come off as rude, but you know, I'm not no rude person. It's just I don't fuck with people unless they doing the right thing, bro, because I don't want that negative energy. You know what I'm saying? So ever since I seen this brother, he been at it. Get it. Tell them about your DC and all that. How you going to school for that?
Okay, so the school, so the school that the TDC was taking me for was for my applied sciences to get my LCDC. So I did that, right? But you have to be out here and do your practicum. Well, I'm out here at Career and Recovery getting my practicum, working at Career and Recovery. Isn't that crazy, right? Doing a form, I have to be approved because now I work for TDCJ, right? Because that's where their contract lies for all the dudes that are on parole. All these cats that are on parole, they have to come there and they have to get career advice and recovery advice. And so I work under a guy named Mr. Hall, and he's a really good cat, right? And he's taught me a lot. But while I was there, I'm struggling. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to, you know, I try and work my life around my recovery, not my recovery around my life, right? Because without my recovery, bro, I got nothing anyway. So I'm starting to struggle. Well, God says to me, a dude walks up to me and says, hey, man, check out this FAFSA thing. I'm like, what? You know, in the penitentiary, they do everything for you, man. Miss Jackson shows up, does all your grant stuff. Boom. And next thing you know, you just get a lay-in to go to college. Now I got to put on my big boy pants and I got to figure it out. So I start filling out this FAFSA. Now FAFSA says, hey, congratulations. You start picking out colleges. I'm like, what? So I find out that if I can get my bachelor, I get my bachelor's in social work, right? Well, now I automatically, it comes with the LCDC. Now I can avoid all the hours, the thousands of hours that it's going to take me to actually get licensed in the state of Texas. I'll automatically be licensed because, you know, and you say about how you don't like to be around people that ain't doing the right thing. But let me tell you, the only people that I be around, that I in my inner circle, now I be around everybody because people not doing the right thing are the people that I try and help, right? If we be for them, I will have no purpose. I need the people that ain't doing the right thing in my life, right? So that I can do what God's led me to do, right? So I don't let them in my inner circle now, but they're the people that I go out in the streets, Wendy and I, whatever. We go out and we interact with, take water, we do whatever. I'm not really big on the feeding of the homeless and people that are on drugs. And don't everybody get crazy. But back in the old days, man, you got a dirty urine, man. You were like the dreg of society. Your butt went back to prison. They weren't sympathetic of a drug addict. They weren't sympathetic of a drug user. There wasn't people on every corner handing out food. So when my butt got hungry, I went hungry. When my butt didn't have no clean clothes and I got hungry enough, I carried my butt to get help. So I think that the feeding is great, but I think that it's a call, right? So like when people hunt deer, when these white dudes hunt deer and stuff, or whoever dudes, whatever, when these dudes hunt deer, they put out these deer feeders, right? And they throw food, and the deer come and they pick them off, right? So I think when you throw the food, the calling is, where are the nurses? Where are the psychologists? When we got 300 people that need help standing in one place, where is everybody at? So the food is there. I love the people that serve the food. Their heart is right. That's what God told them to do. But where's the other people that we need? People that can get them into programs, people that can go down there to deal with schizophrenia. So that's why I want to go and I want to get the degrees and get the stuff so that when these people are bringing these people in, I know where to go them. People wonder why I go and get all these resources. I'm a resource guy. I keep getting resources, because I know why God put me through them beatings, and I was locked in the basement and my mom was bringing them dudes home and I was hospitalized with broken jaws and broken noses and all these things that I used to rain terror down on people's lives. I carried resentments. Those are things today, right, that I would never change. I got rid of those resentments. And when I had to take a good look at myself and what I was, I could no longer judge my mother. She was just a sick person. And I was able to forgive. And all of this is the best thing, forgiveness, right? But I never want somebody out in the street, because I had a guy sharing the meeting, man. Yeah, they used to lock me in basements. After the meeting, man, I went and seen him. And the first thing I said to him was, hey, man, I can only imagine how that made you feel. He didn't know. I never shared with him that I was like that. But I'm empathetic today because of all those things. So today, if you told me I could go back and change my childhood, nah, it was the providence of God, man. God wanted me. That was my college, right? That was what I could handle. He put me through what he knew that I could handle to do what I'm doing today. And it was all worth it. Because listen, I've never had less and been more happy in my life. I'm so happy each day. I get to go out and interact, and people, we get on the train today and a homeless guy, we were out in the middle of nowhere. He's like, hey, Robert, man, I felt like $1 million, man. He said, hey, Robert, and he started talking to Wendy because Wendy's so beautiful. And he started to talk to Wendy, and she's like, he knew you by name. I was like, man, that's what I want him to do. And I want each person, and I go after these resources because it drives me crazy when someone asks me for help and I don't know what direction to point them in. So I study those resources. I have them in my phone. I go to places myself and play homeless and see how they treat you and get connections. Because when that person is there, if God blesses me to be in the presence of that person when they say, hey, I need them help, what do I do? Man, I do not want to be standing there butt naked. Excuse, I don't know how else to talk. I'm learning to talk better, but I don't want to be standing there butt naked, right? And so,
Right.
for the first time in my life, man, my life has purpose. I have direction and I have understanding. And I fall short. Wendy had to check me a little bit today. I got a little, I got a little bit. You know, I can get egomaniacal. I can get, you know, I am a kind guy, but if I'm not going to meetings, I'm not working the 12 steps, I'm not talking to my sponsor, and I don't have good friends like you, Monkey Man, and Wendy, and the other friends that are in my inner circle now. The people with the spirit of Moses. That's the other thing I was going to say. You have the spirit of Moses. Like even when I showed up over here, you had got here ahead of me and you started peeping me the game. Hey, Rob, do this. Hey, Rob, watch this. Hey, Rob, you know, you wanted me to succeed as much as I wanted me to succeed and as much as you were succeeding yourself, man. That's the people that are in my inner spirit, man. The people that want to go back in and help their people. I come from the hood, man. My people are my people. That's it. And so my people are people that are impoverished or beat down by this government like I was. I don't know anything about white privilege, bro. I mean, I don't know about that. Somebody else might, but I know one thing. If it wouldn't have been, listen, they put me out 11 years old, and if it wouldn't been for a black woman, my best friend's Annie, who had Tourette's, and her husband worked for the city and smoked crack. And sometimes we have lights, sometimes we wouldn't, but she put me on a bus and took me down and enrolled me into school. She took me to churches and got me clothes. So my people are my people. So I go back in. I want to go back in for my people, man. Because there is a solution, man. There's never a problem. It's always a solution. So like Wendy and I go out and we talk and we just go out, man. And sometimes I like to teach. I like to show people, like teach people about Jesus. And a lot of times I won't even use words, man. So I do what he tells me to do. And sometimes he tells me, man, just sit with this cat in the dark till he can see the bright side. And they're like, hey, bro, this dude's smoking crack. He's doing this. What are you doing? What am I doing? Jesus did his best work in the streets, bro. He didn't tell me to judge somebody. He didn't tell me to look down at anybody. He told me to go there and be kind. So that's just what I do. What they're supposed to do is between him and them. My biggest fear, man, after all the things that I've been forgiven for, and it's a lot, bro, and I truly believe that I'm forgiven. Now my biggest fear, and if he says, thou shalt not fear, but my biggest fear is that I get up there on my judgment day and he says to me, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? I've been forgiven for all this and I'm judging somebody else? Come on, man. So he says that too. And I don't want to get too much into scripture, but he says that a person who's been forgiven much, right? Who's going to be more grateful? A guy who's been forgiven $5, or a guy who's been forgiven 5,000? So I think that he took me through all these things and I've done all these things only because I feel so grateful to be forgiven and free. Let me tell you, that's another thing, Monkey Man. I've learned everything in my life by what it ain't. I don't know what good parents are, but I know what they ain't. I don't know what peace is, but I know what it ain't or it wasn't. I don't know what freedom is, but I know what it ain't. I don't know what real friendship was, but I know what it ain't. And through this process of the 12 steps in Jesus Christ, today I know what those things are. I know what freedom feels like for sure. I'm starting to really learn what peace feels like. Every once in a while I have a moment, you know. I'm only human. But I'm telling you, I'm starting to really learn what real friendship and love and, you know, being a good parent. I'm learning those things, and all because that I have all those things in Christ. You know what I mean? Sorry, bro. I didn't mean to talk you to death.
No, you good, because I know that's why I wanted to interview you. I know I like with the help. I'm listening. I don't know your story. I know a little bit, but this show is for. That's why I knew you was gonna talk. You feel what I'm saying? And I knew you gonna give me. I want to talk about, because I know this was one of the things you wanted to talk about. So how dealing with your new life and co-parenting, because that's a new thing in your life, right? How is that how is that working out with your recovery and things?
Yeah. So through this process, the mother of my children, right? So while I was down, she met somebody and married somebody else. So
Right.
this is how sick I am. So I have made a decision in my mind that when I get out, I'm finna to kill her. Right. And I am 100% fast forward on this, right? I can admit this today for God, but it's going through my mind, right? I'm so angry. I'm so mad, right? I'm so crazy. And I'm on the phone with her, right? And back then, man, TDC, we was expensive to be on them phones. And here this woman is putting this money on this phone, letting me talk to these children. Got this other man, but still looking out for me, right? I don't ask her for no commissary. I'm a barber. I didn't need no commissary. I was selling commissary. So I was giving commissary away, really. But anyway, she's doing all these things, but in my delusional mind, right? You know, all this stuff. I just think she's the worst person on earth. You know what was funny? So when I started to recover and I started to work those 12 steps, and I asked God for the willingness to show me what other people see me as, how they view me. And then I started to really look at myself, and we did that list, and it was supposed to be this list. It was my hit list, boy. Make a list of all the people you have resentments against. And I made that list, right? And boy, it was my time. I was going to unleash. Christine did this. Christine did that. Christine did this. My kids this. My kid, this person that. This is how freaking crazy I am. And all of a sudden, my sponsor started talking about, what part did you play in all this? And all of a sudden, man, he said, I want you to go back to that. I want you to go back to the house. We call or sell a house. I want you to go back to the house, and I want you to pray about all this and all the stuff and willingness. And all of a sudden, man, it hits me, bro. And I heard people say about this, right? There's something that brought them to their knees. And I used to say, these fools are crazy. And let me tell you something, man. When I saw that and I realized that, because I don't say this to be tough, but she's probably watching right now. She'll probably comment, but everything I'm telling you is true. I was freaking dangerous. Like, I was a dangerous human being. And there was two guys, I used to say this all the time. There was two guys in the room. One thought one thought one wouldn't, and one knew he would. That's really how I moved around, right? Like in my neighborhood, people, granny would say, hey, don't owe that white boy money. Don't be owing that crazy white boy no money. Don't be, I was running around that crazy, like stupid. And it turns out, in looking at all that stuff, when I had to judge myself and look at how God viewed me, and I realized that I was a guy running around full of fear, full of ego. Really, I was probably the most scared guy in the room. It made me the most dangerous, but I was just full of fear, full of ego, full of resentment, all poison, man. Resentment, you take the poison, waiting on the other cat to die. And when I saw myself and how I was as the husband, was I the husband that God wanted me to be, that he expected me to be? And I felt so short in that role. And here I am in the penitentiary. I could no longer remember anything that Christine did to me, because what was she supposed to do? She had a bad leader. And now when you ask me about my marriage, I say, man, we weren't really married, but I had a great marriage. I had a good family. She just had a bad husband, right? And today, through all of that, she's my best friend, right? And she's going through some struggles, and I try and be there for her. And she's a great mother. She has the greatest relationship with my kids, and I thank her every day. None of my kids are in trouble. She's she's so kind, and their relationship's so good, and I love her. I love her with all my heart. You know what I mean? Like, for us, it's nothing to get back with her or nothing, but she's going through some struggles right now. And for me, it's funny, but the guy that saved my life was from Houston, and I'm in Houston. I didn't know anybody in Houston, but God wanted me here. So I'm here. But also, I got to be careful, because now that I see her like that, and think about this, a guy that treated her so bad on the phone, calling her names. Listen, when I learned Do you know how bad I felt when I learned the day I learned why a man doesn't yell at his wife and kids, right? He doesn't yell at his wife and kids. There's a reason. You know why a man doesn't yell at his wife and kids?
Wow.
Because their emotional, mental, and physical safety depend on him. And the minute he starts all that screaming, he lets them know that he has lost control of the situation and they feel a little less safe. And each time he does it, they feel less and less safe. Now the enemy that he was protecting them from on the outside becomes him. They need protection from him. And he's now lost control of the ship. Do you know how much yelling and screaming I did? Do you know how much yelling and screaming I did? And only to realize today that I made everyone in my own house feel afraid of me, bro. Do you understand how much that hurts my heart? You know what I mean? And this woman, still, she should, when I've got to take a good look at me, I'm lucky that she talks to me. And so when she calls me, I'm so grateful. I yes, ma'am her. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I need to talk to you. Yes, ma'am. What can I do? Anything, man. I would lay down in traffic for it. Let me tell you, not to go backward or not any of that, but let me tell you something. I will never love anybody as much as I love her, but all the things. And imagine that. See, she didn't change. Everybody else didn't change. But it was all of them. I was thinking I had special powers, man, that I could see things they didn't see. And if they would just do things my way and everybody would do it the way I wanted them to do it, it would be a perfect world. But see, it doesn't come off like that, like the book says, right? And next thing you know, we either try harder or we end up doing what we do. And so, yeah, when I found out that the day I found out that I did not have a drinking problem or a drug problem, I had a ROB problem. And alcohol and drugs were my solution to my ROB thinking problem. That was the day when change started to come. You know, those were the things, right? And today, you know, I find myself being a vulnerable guy. We come from that generation of stop crying, I'll give you something to cry about, right? So we weren't allowed to show emotions. You either, monkey man, I know it already. You know, hey, there ain't no monster under the bed. You sissy. You know, I'm trying to watch my language. You sissy, you better get in that bed. So now we frightened or we scared or we scared. Tell him. So anyway, we're frightened or we scared. When we're frightened or we're scared, sorry, there was somebody screaming in the background over here. We're over here at 3809. Anyway, so when I'm sorry, I lost track. Oh, so we take all those things. We never got to process anything. So we learned that our emotions separated us from the people that we love very early. Your mama sitting there reading or watching her show, watching the soaps, right? And all of a sudden you start cutting up a little bit, man, and she take them look down at you. Boy, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. You know, all that kind of stuff. So we weren't allowed to really laugh too loud. We weren't allowed to be afraid. We weren't allowed to cry. We weren't allowed to do nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? And so we take those dogs and we put them in the basement and we find out that we either real happy or we're real angry, right? Or the dogs are down there in the basement, all them emotions that we push down, and all of a sudden something happened. And the basement door opens up and them dogs jump out and get on somebody's ass. Next thing you know, we're in a prison cell, right? Because we didn't know, like my little daughter, before I went to prison, my littlest one, she's little and she's in her little snowsuit all bundled up and we're walking on the sidewalk. It's like this. And she goes to fall. It's a big crack in the sidewalk and the kid goes to fall. And I have her hand, but she don't fall and she starts to cry. So I stop and I say to her, oh my gosh, that must have frightened you so much. See, now she has a word to identify with that emotion, right? So my kids call me today, and Christine continues with that. And so my kids call me today, Daddy, you hurt my feelings, or Daddy, that made me feel so sad. So could you imagine me, this is me, calling up one of my homeboys that hurt my feelings and saying, yo, Monkey Man, you really hurt my feelings. You know, it translates like this. Homeboy, you know what you did, and when you see me next time, you know what it is. You know what it is. Click. That's how we said you hurt my feelings. See what I mean? So today
Right.
I'm starting to get a little more in touch with describing my feelings and trying to be a vulnerable guy and a kind guy. And it's a struggle. Like you know, once I found out that I'm the problem, man, you know, you know, it's a never ending job, you know, working on not being the problem, you know, to myself. I got one mind that wants to do good, and I got another mind that wants to kill me every turn. It wants me to make a decision every day to kill myself. Huh?
Is this the Christina right here? Glow fit with Christine.
Yeah, that's my baby mama. She good people.
Yeah. Shout
Yeah,
out to
she's
Glow fit
good.
with Christine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's good people.
Before we go
Yeah.
on, what are the future plans of Robert Griffin?
So, like I said, I had these powerful black women in my life. They're like helping me, and since I've asked for help, I've got care coordinator. I got all kinds of people in my life, and man, and like I said, they tell me to go get it and come back with it. But it's whatever God really wants me to do. It's so funny that I'm finding out like everything that He wants me to do. When I was in that prison cell, I had come up with a couple things that got in my stomach, like it felt so great, and it's been crazy. As soon as I started to divert from those little plans, stuff get a little tough, and then all of a sudden, just college is opening up. Lady comes walking up to me with a guy that tells me about fast food. Next thing you know, I'm on fast food. Next thing you know, the college is calling me, and right now I'm just kind of doing what God wants me to do, and I'm loving it because it's, you know, for the first time, you know, because Christine's such a good person, you know, she's got things handled right there, and my daughters are, you know, everybody's grown, but you know, they're like, hey man, we just want one thing, we just want you to be happy. So these are the things when I was out there hustling, making money, and I made money. Like I wasn't at, you know, street level. I had lived in big, I mean, I was doing it, but you know, I always didn't feel like that judge said I was a threat to society, that federal judge at 17 years old. And that wasn't me. I would say, man, he don't even know me. And so I always felt like I was doing what I have to do. And right now I'm getting to do what I want to do. So I'm thinking I want to help kids. I want to help young men because I think that we got with these mothers out here or out here kicking ass, and they're doing it without the men in their lives. And I think these young men are getting confused on what a man's supposed to be. We're not opening car doors no more. We're not saying yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and they're getting spoon fed and you know they got to take care of their mamas. They, you know what I mean. So I want to have like some youth, young men dances with their mother, and where they pull out the chair for their mother and they show their mother good respect. And I want to do the barbershop thing where we have a boys to men deal where we bring in guys that are really doing something with their life in recovery, guys that were in prison, guys that were, you know, I have a good friend of mine who's an NFL football player, and he supports me in all that I do. I love him. And shout out to you, Wells, so I'm gonna bring him in. He wants to get involved. You know, he's been a big part of my recovery. Wendy met him. She's the only person I made him.
That voice, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to have this thing, this barbershop where it's boys to men, and we talk to him about, you know, it ain't cool to go out there on the corner and get a pack, man. Down there in the penitentiary, ain't nothing cool happening down there, man. It's a whole bunch of people smoking kush, a whole bunch of, you know, and I hate to say it, but you know, it's pedophiles run that place now. You know what I mean? I'm sorry to say that, but I mean, I shouldn't have put that out there. But listen, I went to my last UCC. I went to my last UCC, and that major, that new wave major, said to me, Let me tell you something, Mr. Security Threat Mr. Gang member, that you know, all that stuff they can't, all lies. But he said, if you mess with one of my sex offenders on this penitentiary, I'll put you under this jail. And I got a smirk on my face, right? And he said, do you think something's funny, boy? And I said, well, not really. I said, what? He said, what are you smirking about? I said, well, it wasn't so many years ago, a dude sitting in your same chair wearing your same leaves on his collar would give me special privileges for us to smash him off the unit. Now they're getting a lot of money for programs. So you want to be cool and you want to go out there and sell drugs. Well, guess what, bro? You going down there in a sea of pedophiles with a bunch of people smoking kush, right? And you're gonna be it's gonna be a sad day, bro. A sad day. The penitentiary ain't what it used to be, huh?
Because a HIPAA, what's
Yeah,
that?
man. They put, yeah, no, it's called a PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act. Yeah, see, TDCJ used to be. Listen, TDCJ didn't have telephones, bro. You got a phone call every 90 days, and it was 5 minutes. And that boss man stood with it. It was one of them phones, and the boss man stood there with his finger on the button. And you said, "Mama, help me! Mama, come get me!" Click. You know what I mean? Mama, call him what? Click. Mama, they beat me up. Click. He hang up on you. Now you got guys calling home going, Mom, can you call a warden? They didn't give me something good to eat today. Listen, I seen one time, this is how bad it is down there. Dudes were complaining about the food and the warden came. This is no lie. Warden Monroe. I'll never forget this. Warden Monroe says, all right, check this out. I'm going to give y'all more on, y'all get one main, like one piece of meat, but y'all can have extras of all the other stuff. True story. A dude filed suit for he has an eating disorder and he was gaining too much weight, and he put a suit against the unit that he was being overfed and he didn't have the willpower to control it. And he was used to TDCJ doing that for him, and they took the food away. So that's the stuff that you're going down there for. They took the extras away. Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, listen, I'll tell you another thing. One time I'm in barber. I'm getting you gotta turn that down. I'm getting an echo, monkey man.
Now do that. Hold on, I'm gonna bring you back up. It does that sometimes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right.
Mute mine. Hold on. Mute mine. Go ahead.
All right. So I'm in his ear. I'm his ward. I'm his barber, right? So I talked Warden Monroe into getting in movies and piping movies into the unit. Free World Movies on the PREA channel. On the the Prison Rape Elimination Act channel. They put that thing in there and they have to pipe it through all the TVs so many hours a day. It's ridiculous. So anyway, I say to him, well, listen, if you can do that, you can put a DVD in there and we could see some Free World Movies. He says, okay, if you can get, and this is when the Kush just started first coming in. K2 I'm talking about. He says, look, if y'all can keep it down to 25 episodes a week, ambulance calls, I'll, because they were getting, ambulance was running in and out there every day because they were bringing that stuff in there, man, that was powerful, man. And these dudes were smoking that stuff and dying and dropping and whatever. So he said, if you get it down to 25 episodes, I'll pipe movies in. Swear to God. The first movie came in was a prison movie. I forget the name of it. But anyway, that white boy went down on that dude in this movie, and these Christians, and I'm a Christian, but these Christians went crazy, right? Next thing you know, he comes walking in the barbershop Monday morning. He got 180 some I-60s talking about all kinds of stuff, right? And he looks at me and he shakes them at me and he says, man, you see the stuff you get me into? You see what happened here? And I'm like, man, come on, man. Next thing you know, we're on the basketball court and he's talking about all you good Christians out here who don't like what's on that television. He says, when you go to church, do you see any of these dudes in there? No, because they don't believe, they don't go. So if you don't like what's on the TV, don't watch it. It was the coldest thing I ever heard seen a warden say. And he said, next person sends me an I-60 about these movies going to lockup. That was it. Going to ad said. And that was it. That ended that. But what I'm getting at is that's a place that these young kids are trying to go to. And they're out here thugging. And they're out here thugging. They're out here thugging. And the first person they call, Mama, can you send me some money for commissary? Fine. And dudes, I just left the bird unit. Because you go to the bird unit to get transferred out. They so broke on the bird unit, people don't even have shoes. And they're eating with their IDs.
Say that again. They're eating what they want.
IDs. So they're taking the TDC IDs and they're eating with them. The unit is so broke, I guess. I don't know. Or the unit guy, Wilson, that works in the necessities, he told me that it was the manufacturing director and he won't say nothing to the bird unit. But all them dudes are coming in that are violators from county jails and they don't have no shoes to give them. So they walking around in there smoking K2, no shoes and no spoons. That's TDCJ right there. And anybody been on bird unit in the last, I just left bird unit in February because I transferred out. I was there, transferred through there to get released from the walls because I'm a discharge. So I went to bird first. And when I walked in that chow, I seen dudes with no shoes on, in one pieces, in white jumps, with no shoes on. I'm talking about no Jackie Chan's, nothing, eating with his ID. I said, boy, we ain't in Texas no more. Being down in TDCJ ain't cool, man. Get a job, take care of your family, be a gangster in that way. Because thugging out here, you ain't gonna like what you about to run into. Because there ain't nothing to be proud of down there.
So
the people that are killing
go ahead. Finish.
Well, we used to run it down there. So you could go down there and you had all kinds of stuff going on, and it was like a city in a city. You ain't doing nothing now. You don't even need guards. The guards don't even come on the runs no more. They don't have to. You living with all the guards. Dudes is right now 60s about everything. And the only reason they're not doing nothing about the kush is because there's so much of it they can't stop it. It's so blatant down there that people are letting wicks run all day. When I got out, I smelled like a fireman. My clothes smell like fire. The whole place smells like fire. It smells like leaves burning. And your whole cell, everything you have smells like kush. They're smoking so much kush down there. That's on God. And anybody who's been down there that sees this and comments on it is going to tell you that I'm telling you the truth. They can't even stop it no more. So you got nothing but zombies walking around like you do here in the city of Houston. These guys that are afflicted right now, God bless them. God bless them, man. God bless every one of them. I pray for every one of them. Well, if you think you're going to a cool place and it's all about this, that's lies, man. That's lies. You're going down there with a bunch of guys who tell and want their mommies and get on the phones and call wardens, and you get something, they get the privilege taken, and everybody's telling, all acting like gangsters. None of them is a gangster. Well, not none of them. There's still some stiff dudes, a few stiff dudes down there. But any of the stiff dudes are going to tell you exactly what I'm telling you. You get on here and watch all these cool prison guys talking about all this thugging stuff. Not in Texas no more. Not in Texas. And I did Fed time too. And I've done time in Louisiana. I've done time in other states, but not in Texas. So, man, just go out and take care of your families, man.
So I gotta finish some more step work. So give us before I end every show, I want you to give the people a word. Shout out to D Shep, man. Well, Sure. Hey, man, you got some people that's watching, man, and they supporting you and what you do. I try to put them
Thank
on there on
y'all.
the screen. But
Yeah, thank you.
hey, and we got the barbershop, so I'm gonna have to get some microphones because that's the only way I can interview like how you want to do it with us being in the
Yeah,
same room. I got to get some little microphones.
yeah.
But anyway, give people some type of word of encouragement in 5 minutes. Give us a word of encouragement before we go.
Man, well, for me, the encouragement is this, man. The encouragement is this, that the minute, the minute that I looked at God, right, that I turned my eyes towards God, my life was not just a series of happenings, that I was just on this big rock and it was spinning and stuff that was happening to me was just happening to me. And all of a sudden, there was a purpose, right? And all the things that I have been through, all the things, and I've said this, but it's the most important thing. Listen, I want to be the first thing I want to be the first guy to tell you, every one of you out there, I'm sorry for everything that you've been through. You deserve better. And I mean it, man. You know, people are walking around every day and they take them out of situations. Thank God I never had any sexual abuse in my life. I had every other kind, but not sexual. But they take them out of these situations and they put them in CPS and they do all this stuff. And next thing you know, they end up in the penitentiary and they're going through all this stuff and they act like they're trying to help and they put them in the system and they do all these things, but they never stop and nobody tells them, I'm sorry, man. I'm really sorry you've been through that. So I'm going to be the first person to tell you, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, each and every one of you, I'm sorry for everything you've been through, man. You deserve better, right? So it's time you start getting it for yourself, right? And when you start to see that and you start to forgive and you start to forgive people, man, all those things that happen to you, because you start to feel free from that. And all you want to do when you feel free, it's like Harriet Tubman, man. I know why they called her Moses, right? Because she had the spirit to go back in and get her people, and she wanted them to have the same freedom. Well, recovery is the same thing, bro. It's the same thing. You got that spirit of Moses. You feel the freedom and you want to just go back in and get your people and bring them out. That's why I talk about the spirit of Moses all the time. Wendy has it. She loves it. She goes with me and she's picked it up now. She loves it. Like she likes it. She got the spirit of Moses. You got the spirit of Moses too, bro. And that's the thing. You're a little more jaded, you know, Monkey Man, than most, and you watch yourself because you're really a good-hearted dude. So, you know, I know you're tough as nails, and I know you can do whatever. But let me tell you something. You've been nothing but kind to me, bro. And so all I'm saying is, man, if you put your eyes on God, bro, all those bad things, right? They have purpose. They have purpose in your life. You're no longer a victim, right? You're a student of pain and trauma, and you've graduated and you've forgiven, and now guess what? You can become the teacher, right? God always says, man, be the lender, not the borrower, right? So that's all I can say, man. But the freedom is out there, man. I'm telling you, I feel free, man. No parole, no nothing, no bondages, man, no crazy stuff, and no resentments. See, the prison wasn't my prison. Resentment was my prison. Resentment, the police weren't locking me up. My resentments were locking me up, man. My resentments were giving me bad marriages and a bad life. But my resentments put me in prison. The judge didn't put me in prison. Rob and his resentments and ego and fear put him in prison. So I don't blame nobody for anything. I did it all to myself. My mama and daddy, you know, they responsible for one thing, that 5 minutes it took to make me. Everything else was on me, man. You know what I mean? It was on me.
Hey,
And if
man.
anybody watches this and I've done you wrong and I haven't had an opportunity to make an amends to you, hey, I'm ready. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, this been a good interview. Like D Shep, I hate you missed it too, but you can always go back and watch it. So hey man, this is Robert Griffin, man, and we gonna be doing more interviews and doing more things. He's gonna, cause he got great ideas and things that I'm cool with doing, you know, especially helping with the youth and the other guy. And I wanna interview Wendy whenever she ready, whenever she don't want to be camera shy and shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she camera shy. And she lied. She said, I'm not getting no camera. Yes, you are. You know. Nah, but
That's
look
my
out.
buddy
So
right there. That's my road dog.
next week, I'm gonna have bearded conversation. I'm gonna be interviewing bearded conversation. My homeboy out of Chicago, and
Cool.
we be doing things. But hey man, this been another TMB with Monkey Man, and like my boy say, every hero got his theme song, so I'm gonna jam mine.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'll see you later. Thank you for having me.
No problem. No problem.
It is TMB with Monkey Man, you know what I'm saying? Roll something, light something, bitch. 8 time my playground where we ride on foes, sip on foes, trunk on glow, light for show, TV, no logo. When you see me on the late night with bearded, having convo. Acres home, fofo, Uncle P in the chat. Excuse my manners, while me and Peso pass gas. I'm trying to get a bag. Why these niggas mad? Chocolate tie with the thick thigh. Vanna Black, like and subscribe. Early morning with King, that's a grand rising. I might just hit the gritty. I might just hit the Heisman. 2 Hill, that's Nike fam. Acres home, that's where I am. TMB with Monkey Man, that's on your channel now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. TMB with Monkey Man. Easy now no more. TMB with Monkey Man. TMB with Monkey Man. You know what it is, TMB with Monkey Man, dog. I'm on your channel. TMB, way the conversation, you know what it is, homie. TMB with Monkey Man. TMB with Monkey Man. Smoke some bitch like Pimp say. TMB with Monkey Man. I'm on 2 Hills, what's up, baby? TMB with Monkey Man. Easy now no more.
Now, before I go, yeah, I do want to say something, man. I thank God for everybody that support me and what I'm doing, man. It's been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a struggle, man. And but it's like the song "Not Understand," no pain, no gain. If you ain't going through no pain, you're not gonna gain, because everything that I've been through has been an experience. It's been a learning technique. You know what I'm saying? For me to overcome obstacles, man. I'm pulling up on this because dude lied to Rick hair, lied to Rick, live to Rick hair. Yeah, come on, Monk Donnie. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. So when I first started bearded, that's what I was doing. I got so many damn interviews. I had a lady that's a mobile mechanic. I had the lady, first black that I know, first lady welder that I ever met in my life. Like, I interview people down there don't get the spotlight like they should. Man, that man did 20 years in the penitentiary, and we got the OG That's why he was like, it's a bunch of guys out here lying on these things, talking about they been to the penitentiary. Man did 20 years in the penitentiary. The first car he got in was with me. I took him in his first car ride when he came home, bro. He haven't been, that man just not really living free life. Man only been out, ain't even been out a year, did 20 years, man. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm getting back to, man. Interviewing people down that's really, really out here getting it, but don't get that spotlight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, I'm gonna be over there. I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna try to be up. All that we've been through has built character in us and made us strong. Yeah, man. These steps, you know, I got a fucked up attitude, man. It's been many times you didn't talk to me on here when I done went off on one of these dudes. But see, I noticed something. A lot of these cats ain't on my level when it comes down to this YouTube shit. And what I mean is, as far as bringing the good you know, we can sit here and it's fun to talk about people, but after a while, bro, that person we talking about is just as fucked up as we are. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I look at, you know. So at the end of the day, man, you know, I'm gonna keep trying to do the righteous thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start putting some money on this on this thing. I finally figured out how to do the Cash App shit. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? So man, y'all finna see more interviews. Next week, I got Bearded coming up. You know what I'm saying? And I know D Chef gonna be there to heckle you. So it's going down, man. You know, but I'm gonna leave you with this, man. Two wrongs don't make a right, but two right brothers made an airplane. Let that soak in. I'm out this beat.